Episode 3305, Get Out of Your Head.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. Are you ready for a brand new week? Oh, it is a brand new week. Yes, it is. And it's Mindset Monday, and it's time for you to lead your life well. In order to do that, you got to get out of your head. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already had the opportunity, you'll want to head on over to createyournow.com, where you can learn more and sign up for the Kisses newsletter. The Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, inspiring connection and community. Well, stay tuned here. We've got a lot happening at Create Your Now. We're changing some things on the website. More information on that to come. We're going to be opening up AIM. Yes, I was hoping by Valentine's Day. It'll be a few days late, but it will happen. I promise you, we are almost there. It's so exciting. I actually have a team of people working on it, and I'm delighted that they are willing to do that for me. And we are growing dramatically when it comes to our TV and our podcast. So thank you so much for sharing and reviewing and just really lifting us up in prayer. I truly appreciate you, and I do not take you for granted. I mean, it's all because of you that we are here every single day. But you know what? Are you still recovering? Are you recovering from yesterday? Did your team win? Well, let's break it all out here. I feel like we need to do an NFL Monday morning quarterbacking. Oh yes, because in a culture that glorifies Monday morning quarterbacking, dissecting the past and scrutinizing the future, it's time to shift your focus. The football game is officially over. Not sure if your team won or not, but the journey of presence is now. Get out of your head. So I want you to imagine this, all right? We're going to get you off the field here for a minute. You're sitting in a picturesque café. Maybe you're in Paris, wherever you are, but the aroma of freshly brewed coffee is just filling the air. Oh man, those dark roasted beans and a gentle breeze tickling your skin. And as the world around you buzzes with life, you find yourself lost in a sea of thoughts, worries, and regrets. Meanwhile, the beauty of the present moment slips through your fingers unnoticed and forgotten. Sound familiar? See, for a moment there, you smelled the coffee, but then all of a sudden it was like, where am I? What am I doing? You really don't notice who's around. You don't know who you're talking to. Oftentimes we live in a foggy life with little thought for our next actions because all we do is react to the stimuli in front of us. We habitually place one foot in front of the other, even to the point where a trip over a step becomes, well, just part of the day. No big deal. Somehow we just stumble and we keep moving. Life is too precious. You were created on purpose, for a purpose, here on earth and in heaven. So whether your team won the Super Bowl or not, whether you're like celebrating because yes, it was the 49ers or yes, it was the Chiefs, or maybe you're sitting back wishing that the coach called a different play or that the ref actually called the missed penalty. And you're like, oh, you know what? Man, if they just would have done this, going back to that Monday morning quarterbacking. You got today to make it count. That is your kiss to keep it simple strategy. Make it count today because life is happening now, not yesterday, not tomorrow. So make it count today by being fully present. That's the best gift you can give yourself every single day. The best gift you can give your family, your spouse, your coworkers, your church, your community. Even right now, as you listen to this, it's a gift you can give your own heart. Because in today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of thoughts, worries, and distractions that constantly flood our minds. Are you already planning for what's for dinner? And you haven't even gotten to lunch yet. Been there, done that way too many times. Maybe you found yourself daydreaming about the past or anxiously planning for the future. Maybe you're looking at your bank account and going, I don't know how we're going to make it to the end of this week. Missing out on the beauty and the opportunities that exist right in front of you. I saw something on my Facebook feed, or maybe actually it was my LinkedIn. Okay, honestly, now I can't remember where it was, but what I noticed, it was just this picture. And somebody had snapped the picture and said, I just had to capture the beauty of this moment. And it was literally this beautiful pine tree. And it looked like it was a soft pine, so like a blue spruce. And there was a fresh snowfall, and maybe there was a little bit of ice just slightly. And as I looked at the picture, literally I could see how the snow was on each individual needle. It was absolutely breathtaking. And I just sat there for a moment. Now, this came in my feed, one of my social media feeds, and I just sat there for a moment going, oh my goodness, just to be sitting there looking at this beautiful, because I imagine this huge, beautiful pine tree covered in snow, but each individual needle wrapped. And I thought, you know what? That's how much we need to be present in our everyday. We need to be wrapped up in the moment where we're so in tuned that we don't miss a beat. So are you ready to break free from the confines of your own head, to get out of your head and learn how to be fully present in the moment? Well, let's see what it looks like in real life. Number 1, practice presence. It's a hard thing to do, but it's called mindfulness. And mindfulness is the art of bringing your full attention to the present moment without judgment. Did you hear me? It's without judgment. That means if you're going to sit here and say, oh, well, can you believe that couple over there? Yeah, all of a sudden now you're judging them. Is it, number 1, your place to judge? And number 2, you're missing it because you are judging. Mindfulness is the art of bringing your full attention to the present moment. Be that needle on a pine tree that's solely encapsulated with snow. Mindfulness encourages us to observe our thoughts, our feelings, and sensations as they arise, rather than being carried away by them. By practicing mindfulness, you can cultivate a deeper connection with the world around you, heightening your awareness in the present moment. Engaging in activities such as meditation, or simply dedicating a few minutes each day to focus solely on your breath, like fill your heart. You're alive, my friend. And you being able to breathe can significantly improve your ability to be present. But a lot of times we're just kind of going through the motions. We just get up in the morning and we go to the bathroom, we go brush our teeth, we jump in the shower, and somehow we remember to take our clothes off before we get into the shower. Yeah, but we don't think about it. Think about what you think about the next time you get up in the morning. What is your routine? Do you really think about, okay, wait, I'm going to get up. Okay, I'm going to make my side of the bed. Maybe you and your spouse get up at the same time. My husband and I, we do it off and on. It just depends. And if he gets up first, he doesn't make his side of the bed because it wakes me up. So if I'm sleeping, I'm like, well, that's unfair. And usually he goes to bed earlier. Sometimes we try to go to bed at the same time. But literally when I wake up in the morning, it's like, oh, praise the Lord, I have breath. Good morning, Lord. And then I'm like, yes. And I feel my feet hitting the floor. And I put them in my slippers. And I'm like, oh, that feels good. And I just ground myself there. And I take a deep breath. And then I rise up. And it's like, oh, got to go to the bathroom. So I find myself meandering my way into the bathroom because my house is a little disaster zone. Remember, it's still under construction. It's kind of, it is what it is. But I have to be careful not to trip over about 20 boxes before I get to the door where I need to go into the bathroom, which is around the corner and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. Like I said, it's a whole story, but we'll leave it at that for another day. And so I go to the bathroom and then I'm like, okay, what's next? Well, sometimes I don't even take a shower till in the afternoon. If I'm going to go work out, if I'm going to do some work, if I'm going to go write, sometimes I go back and sit in bed and put my heating pad on and I read and I read and I read and I read. Sometimes I go and I sit out in my studio and I read and I read and I read and I research. Sometimes I write and I write and I write and I write. I mean, that's what happens when you're doing a daily podcast and writing a TV show and writing a book and trying to get everything done and ready to open up for AIM, right? You're always doing something, producing the content you need so you can serve well. And that's what I want to be able to do for you all. So every morning I do try to practice presence. And that's the kickoff to my day, because if I don't start then, oh man, it is downhill after that. Totally downhill. Author Eckhart Tolle once said, realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. Make the now the primary focus of your life. Right? You got to create your now. That means you've got to be all in on the presence. You've got to be willing to say, you know what? This matters right now. This is what matters. Not tomorrow, because tomorrow becomes today, and not yesterday, because yesterday, was today, but it's not any longer. And so you can't change yesterday, and you can only influence tomorrow by what you do right now. Hence, create your now. But it's not going to look and feel any different. You're not going to change anything unless you practice presence. And I would encourage you to do it with yourself, and then involve your spouse, and then involve your children. Let the overflow happen, right? You cannot serve from an empty cup. But if you're practicing presence, oh, my friend, you're serving from a full cup always. Number 2, limit so you can look. What I mean by this is, in today's technology, right, because we all have it, and it's wonderful because this is where you and I get to talk every single day like this. Our attention is constantly being hijacked by smartphones, social media, computers, and the never-ending streams of notifications. Bing, 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 bing. These distractions can rob us of precious moments, and it can also hinder our ability to fully engage with the world around us. How many times are you sitting there having a conversation with your spouse, and all of a sudden you feel your phone vibrate, or you hear it vibrate, or it's across the room, and you're like, oh, and all of a sudden you stop and you go and get it? What if you were to leave that phone there and finish your conversation? How would that change your marriage? How would that change your communication with anybody you're talking to? So set aside dedicated time each day to disconnect from digital devices. Create a tech-free zone. Maybe it's when you eat together, you don't bring your phone. Now, if you've got kiddos traveling, like I know, if you've got older kids, which I have plenty of them, then maybe you do leave it to where at least you can hear it, but you don't have to respond to it. And maybe you come up with a code. You know, with my kiddos, if they really need me and for some reason they can't get to me on the first ring, they do it again and they do it again. If it's 3 times, and I do the same to them, if it's 3 times, that means whatever you're doing, you need to stop and you need to find a safe place and you need to pick up the phone and call whoever it is who's calling. Okay, so now don't call me, don't email me 3 times in a row, because I'll have to stop and answer you now that I've given you our family secret. But it's something that we do. And it's important because then that allows me to focus, because sometimes I'm sitting here having chats with you and my kids might be sending me text. Well, honestly, that distracts me because I come on and I have my notes, but then, wow, I just let it all go. And I just talk to you, and the Lord blesses whatever comes out of this mouth. And I hope it blesses you. And we just have a good heart to heart every single time. But if I'm distracted by my phone, my text, my email, wow, I'm not going to get anything done. So I have to close it all out. So have a tech-free zone. It's okay to shut down your stuff. You know, back in the day, we actually got busy signals. How would it change your life if you had a busy signal for once? Somebody reached out to you and the signal was busy. Would that actually help you? I think it would change our lives drastically. Maybe we need to talk to our iOS and Android people and say, could you implement a busy signal, please? And I know that's called do not disturb. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just a busy signal saying, you know what? Now's not the time or the place. And it's not a do not disturb because that just sends them to voicemail. The busy signal is like, well, you can't break in right now. There is no connection with me. It doesn't send them anywhere. It's just beep, 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 beep. Do you remember that? Yeah, I know. Back in the olden days. But when you do this, you give yourself that chance to fully immerse yourself in the conversations you're having. You can appreciate the beauty of nature around you, right? Go back to that little cafe. Maybe it's your favorite cafe, right? Where you're smelling those deep, deep roasted coffee beans. Wouldn't it be nice to notice the people who are standing behind you and went in front of you? Maybe you might actually notice a jar on there that says, hey, leave a sweet note for someone else. And you leave a sweet note and then you can take one out. What a concept. But most of the time, we don't even see what's right in front of us. Limit so you can look. Cherish those small moments that often go unnoticed. It's about seeing what you can't see because you limit so you can look. Entrepreneur Tristan Harris once said, the most precious resource we all have is time. How are you giving your time away? How are you spending your time? Are you even present in your time? And finally, number 3, grow gratitude. Yes, I am ready for spring. I mean, if football's over, we got to grow some gratitude. I want to grow my garden, and it's going to be a garden full of gratitude. And gratitude is truly a powerful mindset that helps us shift our focus from what we lack to what we already have. Now, let that sink in for a minute. Because a lot of people think, oh, well, gratitude is just like, oh, well, hey, thanks for, I got a roof over my head, or thanks that I've got clothes on my body, or thanks that, I can sit here and watch my favorite show and I have the money to pay for it. But it goes beyond that. It's shifting our focus from what we lack to what we already have, meaning that we get to see our blessings. We count our blessings. And when we regularly practice gratitude, we become more aware of the countless blessings and opportunities that surround us each and every day. So are you taking that time to grow gratitude in the morning, in the evening, reflecting on the things that you're grateful for, whether it's a loving family, good health, or even the simple pleasures of a warm cup of coffee? Maybe it was spending time together at the Super Bowl and having friends over where you could yell and scream at the TV and at the refs and saying, wow, what that play, what were you thinking? Oh, come on, guys, right? Whatever your conversation was, right? Because we're all kind of still like digesting the whole Super Bowl thing. I get it. Maybe even called in sick like half the other millions of people out there that said, nope, I'm not coming to work or I'm going to be late. We got kids that aren't even going to school because, man, the Super Bowl is all in. Well, we could leave that for a whole nother discussion for another day. But why not look at growing gratitude and saying, man, the time that I got to spend together with friends and family, good food, around a fun game. Yeah, maybe my team didn't win, or yes, my team won. Whoop, whoop. And by consciously acknowledging and appreciating these blessings, you bring yourself into this present moment that truly cultivates a sense of contentment and fulfillment. No longer you saying, oh gosh, I'm just like living life with nothing. Like, I'm just empty, Christiane. Well, maybe you're not empty. Maybe you're just seeing it because you are only seeing what's empty, what you don't have, what you lack. What if you saw what you did have, what you do have? How would that change things? Dr. Robert Emmons once said, gratitude is not about ignoring or denying the negative aspects of life. It's an affirmation that there is always something good to be found. I love that. There's always something good to be found, but guess what? You have to look for it. You have to be one that says, you know what? Yes, I can grow gratitude. Yes, I can find something good. You might be going through a rough patch. I get it. Maybe your bank account isn't where you want it to be. Maybe you're struggling right now with a new career change. Maybe you're dealing with difficult children, or maybe you got a terrible 2 toddler, or maybe we're in a terrible tween, or terrible whatever you want to say, right? Maybe you're just going through a stage of life yourself even. Maybe you're sitting here going, oh my gosh, I'm going to be an empty nester in like 2 years. I don't know what I'm going to do. And already I'm like freaking out. I'd be like celebrating. We'll leave that for another episode because it's how we look at things. I remember way back when, this is going back when I was much younger, not too much younger, but I can remember when people would ask me, we'd had child number 1, child number 2, oh, are you going to have more kids? I'm like, I don't know, because we didn't plan the first one, didn't plan the second one. Then the third one comes along, oh, are you going to have more kids? I don't know. Third one comes along, fourth one comes along. Oh, are you going to have more kids? I don't know. Fifth one comes along. And at some point I'm like, okay, are we going to have more kids? I didn't know. Well, finally we decided that, our quiver was full and we were done. And it was interesting. And then the whole conversation began to shift. And it was more like, well, aren't you going to miss having a baby around? And my youngest was 1 going on 18 months. And I'm like, no. They're like, you're not? I'm like, no, I've had 5 babies. I said, and now I get to enjoy the next stage and the next stage and the next stage and the next stage. It's not that I don't miss those stages, but let me tell you, I can enjoy having babies around now, but I don't have to have a baby to enjoy babies, right? There's a difference. And so I look at it of saying it's a blessing. I get to enjoy every stage that my children go through. But I don't have to mourn that, oh my gosh, I'm not ever going to have another baby. That's not necessarily the case. That's why we have grandbabies. And I have two, a little boy and a little girl. And if those are the only two grandbabies I have, praise the Lord, I've been blessed with 1 and 2, one of each. What a blessing. And I'm going to enjoy every single stage that they go through. But I'm not going to sit here and go like, oh, woe's me when they grow up. No, I'm going to enjoy their stage of life. There's always something good to be found. But you've got to break free from the confines of your mind and live a truly present life. Presence, my friend. That's what will change everything for you. So embrace the opportunities, the connections, and joys in the here and now. And watch as your world transforms into a tapestry of meaningful moments, meaningful memories, right? Meaningful things that count in your everyday. It's your presence. But I know sometimes it gets hard. And when it gets hard, that's all right. Just own it. Say, it's hard. And be present in that moment. It's okay to own your feelings and not always be like, whoop, whoop. I think some people think presence is this whole thing of, man, I've got to feel always good. You don't always have to feel good, but you don't want to hang out always where there's negativity. But you can own your feelings. You're allowed to feel sad. You're allowed to grieve. You're allowed to be, worried. Just don't be worried for too long. You can be concerned more than worried. You can have this feeling of love. You can learn how to forgive and how to embrace the moments. Even the moments that you're like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. But the key is that you're present. Life is happening now, not yesterday, not tomorrow. So make it count today by being fully present. Go in peace, be present, be incredible. Be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.